大家好，我是奥地利的小胡。I'm super sorry for all of you guys. I know you are waiting for the tuning video. I promise you on Thursday I will send it. It's ready, it's there. This video, it just came up and I really felt that I want to make this video. It is a good time and a good moment to talk about this topic. This video is going to be in English because this topic, it kind of like comes from my heart. It will be difficult for me to express exactly what I want to say in Chinese. So last week there was a pretty big content creator brought out a few videos and he was just cooking some fake beef which was from America and just try out how it compares in taste. Can it in the future replace meat? And as a chef I was not surprised about the result that of course it was not as tasty as meat. I think you guys know I really love meat. I love animal products, especially cheese. I think cheese is probably one of the things I could not even think away from my life. But behind these kind of new style fake meat products, there is another topic which I would like to talk with you about today. And I feel a little bit nervous, to be honest, because I don't know how you guys gonna react to this, but it's something that I am concerned already for a longer period of time. Over the last few years, American meat production was really big in the news. That was mostly negative. Lots of documentaries came out, even featured by famous stars, Leonardo DiCaprio, Natalie Portman. They were co-producers or producers. Also an Austrian documentary came out which was very amazing. If you guys can watch it, I think that would be great. You might want to have some tissues ready if you're a sensitive person, but I think they were really eye-opening for me. These documentaries, they talk mainly about American meat market, but I do think that we all should aware that the problems American people face with the development they went through in the last 50 years and with the meat industry that developed because of that, these problems, they are not only in America. These problems are global problems that everyone and every country will face. I think that very few people at this moment actually know that nearly 90% of all meat comes from mass factory meat production farms. These kind of farms, some people probably know, are pretty cruel places. For me as a chef, you're a bit more conscious of this, but I think that for normal consumers, it's more like something that you don't think about that much. That all this mass amount of meat that we consume, it must come from somewhere. And that's farms. As a dog owner myself, I do sometimes get a little bit sad by the fact that people, they just categorize animals. You have like pigs and cows and chickens, they are use animals. They are just for producing, you know? And we have dogs and cats and we can love them, we can keep them at home and they are just pet animals. But the fact that cows, pigs, dogs, they are not that different. I mean, genetically, okay, they are different animals, but they all feel, they all have community, they all get sad and happy. Pigs especially are super intelligent animals. You can train a pig everything you can train a dog. And they are really social, they have fun with each other, they play. I mean, they are really, really smart. And it hurts me to see that these kind of smart animals, they also suffer a lot. If I would see my dogs suffer the way that pigs suffer in factory farms, I would feel very sad. Kept in very small places, they feed them grain, antibiotics, hormones to grow them ridiculously fast, so fast that their own body can often not even keep up with, to then slaughter them as quick as possible. Because we want more meat as people and we want it cheap. Meat used to be something for wealthy people. You eat it sometimes. But meat has become something we now eat like nearly every meal. So the farmers were pushed to make everything faster, drive the profits, produce faster because people want it. The conditions that animals need to accept for this are just very cruel. In American media, some of the undercover footage that came out filmed in the chicken farms, it's really sad to see. And again, here I advise you, if you can, to search some of these documentaries and just see for yourself, because I can barely even paint a picture of the suffering that you can experience in these kind of farms. But besides of that, there's another aspect to meat production. The effect that meat production has on the environment is proven to be very bad. Some reports of governments and scientists, they estimate that the greenhouse gas emission of only meat production might range from 20 to up to 50% of total greenhouse gas emission. If we think transport, like train, plane, cars, all these things, they might account for just maybe only 20%. So it's a huge deal. Very few people, they look at, oh, if I eat less meat, I'm actually really helping the environment. And they would, because all this CO2 is already very bad. But on the other part, also to feed all these animals, it needs lots of feed and it needs lots of water. In America alone, 70% of all soya beans produced, they just go only to feed animals instead of feeding people, of course. To grow these grains, you need water, and also the animals need water. Where 1 kilo of fruit or potatoes, you might need around 1,000 liters of water to grow them, estimated altogether. For 1 kilo of beef, you might need 15,000 liters of water. Water and space is something that the world will run out of. It's very precious, so we should ideally protect it. So these are just some of the bad environmental impacts that meat production has. There's even more to it, but I will not go into details. And third, and definitely not last, there's something we cannot neglect when eating meat, and that is that countless studies everywhere in the world have proven certain proteins in meat, they are directly related to cancer growth. The animals, what they get fed, all these antibiotics also have a very bad impact on us. There are, in the US alone, more than 700,000 people dying of just infections that we cannot cure because of antibiotics we gave all these animals. I think that is really something we should be conscious about. Every 5th person on earth dies from cancer. Doesn't mean that all these cancers are from eating meat, but the fact that certain proteins can speed up the growth of cancer should already make us think, of course. And the way many consume meat nowadays, and me included, is probably just not the right way we should do it. We came to this point because of development, and there's no one to blame. If anyone feels blamed, I'm super sorry. Not even the meat industry is to blame. They are maybe to blame because they don't make all of this very public, but they are still businesses. We needed and we wanted meat to be more accessible and cheaper, and they just gave us what we wanted. Now they are also kind of realizing, I mean, huge meat producing companies, they are investors in fake meat products because they went with the development, but they realized now we're kind of like in a circle, we cannot come out anymore, so we need to break out of that circle and go to search for alternatives. They know it, and I think that's also a great sign. I don't think it is logical to think that tomorrow everyone is gonna become vegan. That's not the point that I'm trying to make with this video, because I myself, I couldn't do it. I'm very honest, I couldn't do it. But I think that we all can just look at the situation right now and start a development in the other direction. We can make daily decisions to reduce our meat intake. We can say from every meal, every day, there must be meat, it's a commodity. We can go back to thinking, hey, meat can be something very special. I can cherish this meal. There's in China definitely tons of people, they do that already. They have even their own animals. They know exactly how they grew up. But globally, there's still just too much of factory meat production. It must be like a general effort where we just raise this awareness, and maybe we go back to eating meat 2 or 3 times a week, and all the other meals we replace the meat. In China there's great alternatives, beans, nuts, tofu. I think that China is definitely in a great position to look in another direction, to make development move into that direction. I think health consciousness in China is very big. Chinese medicine, that alone is proof that Chinese people have been looking at what they eat, how they eat it, what the consume of it, how it affects your body. They have always been wanting to keep their diet healthy. We know that meat is not that great to eat it in these excessive amounts. Why not change it? There's not a big problem to it. I know it's tasty and I know it's difficult to give it up, especially if you can afford it. But I think that we should look at these three impacts it has, which is animal cruelty, environmental impacts, because our planet is important to us. We have children coming up and children's children, and we also want them to enjoy the planet as we could enjoy the planet, right? Last but not least is personal health. I think this is something that we can't neglect. So like I said, no one should feel attacked. I do hope people feel aware. I do hope I can open a discussion. I can make you interested to watch some of these documentaries and have a look for yourself. I hope that you might talk about it with family or friends, work colleagues, maybe bring a discussion in rolling that reaches whole huge companies and governments and the whole world eventually, hopefully. That would be great. I don't think my video will achieve all this, but maybe a small step in a direction that can change things. I'm really happy if you watch this video till now. Thank you so much. I know it was a lot and it's not a very easy topic to talk about. I have been fighting with myself to make this video. It is somehow my attitude towards the topic. I'm really happy I can share it with you. I know you guys are very understanding. I love all of you guys, you know that. I'm really happy to receive any comments and to make videos for you guys. I will not stop making meat videos or using animal products because I am making videos about European food and culture. Animal products are a part of this, but that doesn't mean I need to eat it every single day, every single meal. I'm trying to just make very balanced selection, different recipes, but that doesn't mean that I can also have certain attitudes towards topics like meat consumption. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please go ahead, share it. If you don't want to share it, I'm also super happy that you just watched till here even. I promise on Thursday the Qinghai video will be coming. There will be lots of meat inside because traveling is for me a special occasion to enjoy meat, but when I do, that doesn't mean that I am not following my principles. So for you counts exactly the same. Thank you so much and see you next time.